Okay, it's late again, and I just got finished watching Impact, so I'm going to chat about it. First off, there was a problem last night, and I was not able to get the video for last night up until today, so I'm sorry about that. There's this new thing that I absolutely hate with a passion that I'm unable to upload directly from the iPhone 5. The video that you're seeing right now will actually be a problem as well. Basically, there's something called a two-step verification that Google has now, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It protects very well, but the problem is because the two-step verification is on, basically that means that I cannot upload directly from the iPhone anymore unless I have a desktop so I can get a password that is 16 letters long and very random. So it's going to be a big pain, I'm not going to lie, but I'm doing it for you guys, so hopefully you guys do enjoy the videos. And if you haven't got a chance to check out our Getting to Know You video for the latest member of the Popcaster Revolution, then you can check out Ben's video. He will be joining us for our music reviews, and actually his first official video for Pop will be on Sunday, where he's going to be doing a record store day video, and I've already got it, and I will upload it on Sunday, so you guys will get it on Sunday. And talked to AJ tonight. There is something on the horizon, something called Buried Treasure, and AJ is going to be discussing 16 movies that you may or may not have heard of. Most likely you haven't, but you need to check them out as soon as possible. So we're going to be talking about that. And AJ got me thinking, because I have some other things in mind, and I'm always looking for new segments for the channel. So I may be doing a segment of my own talking about forgotten comedies. And there's a lot of movies that I really enjoy that most of you guys may or may not have seen. A lot of 80s, 90s comedies, a lot of stuff from the 90s mainly. And stuff you may have seen, you may have not seen, but you need to check those out as well. So hopefully I'll be able to get that video done with AJ in the near future. Now, tomorrow we're going to be doing The Great Gatsby, as well as Peoples, and there's a few other reviews, TBA, so there'll be 4 reviews, tentatively speaking, for tonight. We're going to get back from Gatsby a little bit after 7, so we'll come back here, shoot the video, and then I'll shoot it out to you guys as quick as I can. So it'll be ready before SmackDown is over, and of course we'll talk SmackDown and this week's NXT on Saturday morning, or Friday night, depending on how the situation works with time, and if I can get to watch NXT before then. Either way, Friday night late or Saturday morning or Saturday evening after I get off work, we'll be able to talk NXT and SmackDown from this week. And of course, Sunday is the second to last episode of this season of Celebrity Apprentice, so we're going to be talking about that on Monday morning. So there's a lot still to come, and Will's been very busy lately with college and finals, so hopefully once that gets out of the way, we can shoot you guys a few videos. I mean, a Will tutorial, and obviously Mr. Flashback may have to peek his head around the corner and join us all, grace us all with his presence. But like I said, I just got done watching Impact, and I want to chat about it. And TNA, once again, is definitely going in the right direction with a few things. And I want to talk about this week's episode that was live to tape from Elvis Country. That's right, Tupelo, Mississippi, just like I said last week. And we started the show out with Sting and Kurt Angle coming to the ring. And basically, Mike Tenay questions on commentary who's going to be joining them in the main event tonight, because obviously there's going to be Sting and Kurt Angle and a mystery partner against Team 3D and Mr. Anderson in the main event. Sting says he's going to show up at Slammiversary as the number one contender, and he's going to leave as TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Well, that remains to be seen. Sting says he couldn't wait until June 2nd. No, he wanted a little piece of Aces and Eights tonight, so he asked Hulk Hogan if he can assemble a team for the main event this evening. Sting says he couldn't just settle for the best, he wanted the best of the best, so he picked Kurt Angle first. Angle basically says there's one guy who could turn the tide in the war against Aces and Eights. That's AJ Styles. So Angle calls him out, and Emo Styles comes to the ring as usual, wearing his black leather vest and 500 o'clock shadow. Angle says, "Are you going to join us or not in this fight against Aces and Eights?" AJ doesn't respond. Angle says, "I'm sick and tired of this. I'm not asking you anymore. I'm demanding you answer my question." So Sting plays peacemaker like he likes to do every once in a while. And he calms Angle down momentarily and says, "Okay, let me try this. Let me try something else. We'll try a completely different way to get to this." Okay. He says to Styles personally, he's like, "I was in your shoes at one point. I mean, I hid in the rafters. I was very mysterious, very crowish. But I understand how you feel and where you're coming from. But TNA needs you right now." Sting says the roar of the crowd is the house that AJ Styles built. The crowd starts chanting AJ, and Sting extends his hand. Styles doesn't shake it right away, so Angle jumps in his face. He says, "I'm tired of this crap right now. You're either with us or against us," and AJ powders. So Angle doesn't take too kindly to this, and he charges after AJ, spins him around. We did the whole, "you touch me, don't put your hands on me," and then they start brawling. And this whole time, Sting is in the middle of the ring, and he's just watching this unfold right before his eyes. Then, unbeknownst to him, the Aces and Eights hit the ring, and they jump him. So, the Aces and Eights in question this time were Team 3D and Mr. Anderson. So, Devon picks Sting up, and they 3D him. They 3D'd Sting, which is the first time that's ever happened. Angle runs back to the ring, finally not distracted any longer by the brawling with AJ Styles, and they chase Aces and Eights to the back. Well, Angle mouths them off, and Sting is down on the canvas. So, this is a good way to start the show. I enjoyed the way they're doing this. I mean, the fact that AJ eventually could become the savior of TNA, which is pretty much what they're building towards. I don't mind that at all, because he should be the savior of TNA. But we kind of wonder if after taking 3D, Sting is even going to wrestle tonight, because that's pretty much mentioned at the beginning. Is Sting going to be able to compete after taking 3D? And of course he does later on, spoiler alert. So, it was all for nothing, basically. Just more drama. Come back from commercial break. Cameraman, who is faceless, and we have no idea who he is, he catches up with AJ, and he's like, "Are you really going to leave?" And AJ's like, he stops, he turns, he looks back at the camera, and again, and he just storms off. Right outside the door. Bye, AJ. That's your show for the night. Here comes Tara to the ring, and this is the first match of the evening, and she's finally joined by Jesse Goddard again, for the first time in a long time, actually, because, of course, Jesse had some business last week with Rob Terry, so he had to enlist the help of Robbie E. and Joey Ryan. Of course, that failed miserably on all their accounts because Rob Terry won, but that's neither here nor there. So, Gail Kim is our partner for this week, and since Madison Rayne is, well, let's just say away for a while, I am very much looking forward to seeing Madison Rayne back in the ring again. Since she's away for a while, Gail Kim is now teaming with Tara. So that's fine. It works really well because they're a veteran tag team and they work really well. So we see Tara and Terrell getting locked in the ring post figure 4 last week, and what Gail has done to her, basically solidifying the fact that she wants Velvet Sky and the Knockouts Championship. So their opponents in this match are said Velvet Sky and Mickie James, who in this match took one step backwards from that eventual heel turn that looked like we're building towards. So she wrestled completely like a babyface in this match, and it was fine. There was no collusion between the two, and it's like I said, it was just babyface versus heel. That's exactly what it was in this match. So ODB is your knockouts official, as usual, and we start the match. And we get midway through the match, and Gail Kim splashes Mickey in the corner, and as Jesse fans Tara with his vest, and Mickey gets the advantage again with a nice savate kick as Gail goes for the splash in the corner. Tara tags in, Velvet Sky gets the hot tag, and we get a running neck breaker from Velvet for a 2 count. Sky sets up the Dark Lotus, and I know in your face, but I'm sorry, that's my finish. Damn it. Gail Kim runs in for interference to stop the maneuver. Velvet throws Gail Kim at Jesse, and both go knocked to the outside. Tara gets distracted, turn around, and in your face, 1, 2, 3. So, 3.5 minutes. It was alright. Decent match for what it was, and Tara and Jesse are back to being a couple again, so I guess that storyline continues. After the match, Gail Kim yells at Tara, and nails her with the short arm clothesline, so lays her out, and drags her to the ring post again for her new signature ring post figure 4, and definitely working on the very, very injured knees of Tara. This is why she wears that ginormous knee brace. So ODB pulls her off, and Gail gloats and goes to the back. So I don't know what we're doing here. In essence, maybe we cancel the Mickie James heel turn, just keep her a babyface, and we turn Tara babyface again. But Jesse is a hardcore heel, so I don't know. I mean, the fans are not going to cheer for Jesse. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Gail just wanted to make a point by, she was frustrated that she lost the match, and Tara's the one that got pinned, so she wanted to take her frustrations out on Tara, so that's why she put her in the ring post figure 4. So, I mean, I guess that's what we're doing. I don't know if there was a babyface turn or not. I don't think so. But I guess we'll find out in the upcoming weeks on TNA. So, we see Bully Ray and Aces and Eights celebrate their attack on Sting from earlier, and D'Lo sulks in. He's like, "What's going on, guys?" And he asks about this get-together, wondering why he wasn't invited, obviously. We know why he wasn't invited, because he quit last week. He actually said, "I quit" to Kurt Angle, so that's the reason why his loyalty to Aces and Eights is in question. Bully says D'Lo didn't know about this one, but there's one coming up that's going to be in the ring, and they're all invited. So D'Lo looks very nervous, and Aces and Eights are going to probably beat the living daylights out of him in the center of the ring to prove a point. At least that's what it looks like. Come back from commercial break, and we see my favorite tag team in the business, Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian, Bad Influence, and they're meeting up with Cowboy James Storm, who is the special guest official for their matchup for the #1 contendership to the World Tag Team Championships held by Chavo and Hernandez as they face Bobby Roode and Austin Aries tonight. Don't let the fact I'm wearing an Austin Aries shirt fool you guys. Obviously, I'm a fan of all 4 superstars in this match. So they're trying to bribe James Storm with the best way they can. Alcohol. So they got a 6-pack. Daniels says they brought beer not to make good, but to remind him just how Bobby Roode screwed him by nailing him with a beer bottle, and that's the reason why you won the TNA World Heavyweight Championship last year. Daniels says the 3 of them should team up. It's like, maybe you can be a new member of Bad Influence. Kaz calls it 3-chin. Instead of 4-chin, 3-chin. That was terrible. Tells him to think about that. Bad Influence exits. Storm cracks open the first beer. Says, "Give you 6 minutes." Storm says, "I only need 4." And starts chugging a lug. So there you go. So D'Lo comes out. He's last, actually, in the Aces and Eights parade, as usual. He looks extremely nervous. And he has every right to be, because obviously he screwed up, and now he has to pay for it. And he will pay dearly. Bully says, "You should know by now who the hell we are. We are Aces and Eights." Tonight, his brother Devon, and Mr. Anderson are going to take on Sting, Kurt Angle, and whomever they dig up to be their mystery partner. And they know it's not going to be AJ Styles, and issues a warning to anybody in the locker room that feels froggy and wants to play the hero tonight and step up and join Sting and Kurt Angle in the cause against Aces and Eights. probably isn't in their best interest. But Bully says, now, you know what, I'm going to shift gears a little bit, and we're going to talk about some club business. Tells D'Lo to take off the cut and put it in his hands right now. D'Lo goes, nope, not going to do it. Bully's like, really? You refuse me? I'm the president of Aces and Eights. And D'Lo's like, no, I'm not going to do it. But D'Lo goes on the mic this time and says, I'm not taking off the cut because the cut is my life. Mr. Anderson gets in Brown's face and says he quit. He's a quitter. We don't want quitters in Aces and Eights. I don't really say anything about the fact that Wes Briscoe also quit at one point, too. I think Garrett Bischoff might have. And, yeah, that's neither here nor there, obviously. But that's not the point here. The point is, obviously, we're browbeating D'Lo Brown for tapping out. Not even just, he tapped out and he said I quit to Kurt Angle, so that's a double offense. So, basically, you got to earn your cut back, is what Bully says. And he says, you got to earn your cut back by doing something for the club. D'Lo's like, okay, fine, I'm going to kick Magnus's ass tonight. That's exactly what I'm going to do. That's how I'm going to earn my way back in. Bully's like, no. I got a better idea. We saw what happens when you try to wrestle. So, pretty much, we want you to be cheerleader and stand ringside while Doc gets the job done against Magnus. So, he basically says that Doc better win this match, and it's in your best interest that he does. So that's the next match that we get for the evening, Doc against Magnus, and obviously everyone knows I'm a huge Luke Gallows fan. I mean, I've been following him on the Indies, Straight Edge Society, even when he was Festus, and even when he's Super Festus. Gallows is awesome, and he loves the business, and he's great in the ring. He's a great big man. I mean, he was the fake Kane at one point. I mean, he's awesome, and I like the Director of Chaos character, because it's Gallows being Gallows, and I like that. It works really well for me. I like the fact that he's an Aces and Eights. I called him being an Aces and Eights a long time ago, and I'm very glad he's still on television. I think he's going to be a good upper mid-card heel for TNA, even after Aces and Eights is through. But, basically, we come back, and Doc distracts the ref. D'Lo tries to attack Magnus on the outside, but Magnus decides he wants to turn the tide, and he whips D'Lo into the ring steps. Now, this distracts Magnus momentarily as he rolls back in. Doc connects with the fireman's carry into a flapjack for the 1-2 and the kick out. Magnus reverses an Irish whip attempt, and because D'Lo had his back turned, he saw that long day. He saw that Magnus was getting Irish whip, so he went to sweep the leg. Well, he went to sweep the leg, and the whip was reversed. Unbeknownst to D'Lo, he sweeps the leg of Doc, and Doc's like, What are you doing? Doc yells at him, allowing for the distraction long enough for Magnus to roll him up from behind, 1, 2, 3. So Magnus wins about 4 minutes and 12 seconds, and I don't know how long the match actually went, because obviously it was a taped match, so it got about 12 for TV time. Now, I like that finish. I've done that finish before. Actually, we did this against Tracy Smothers at City Park Pavilion. It was the Death Stars against Brian Cross and Tracy Smothers, and we actually did that. It wasn't a finish, but it was a spot in the match. So I have actually done that match before. I've done that before. I pulled Tracy's foot, but actually it worked out for me. So, but I've also tripped my own guy before accidentally too. So I mean, that's happened as well. So I've been on both sides of that spectrum as a manager before. So it's fine, but you have to wonder. You make D'Lo the VP, and he screws up. So you take his cut away. Okay, I get that. Does that mean there's a new vice president of Aces and Eights? I mean, Mr. Anderson, obviously, VP a-hole, so it's pretty much what he's trying to leverage to become vice president. I'm pretty sure that's what we're looking at. Because at this point, it's pretty much like Mr. Anderson is second in command. Even though Devon is there, Mr. Anderson is still kind of second in command. So, he's just not officially there. But, I mean, didn't you think it probably should have been like Nux or Garrett or Wes Briscoe that screwed up and this is what's happening to instead of D'Lo? I don't know. I don't understand the direction of going there. But, I mean, I guess it makes sense somewhat. Come back from break. Doc and D'Lo enter the backstage area where the Aces and Eights are bombing out and drinking alcohol like they do. Bully calls him a bitch numerous times. Aces and Eights hold D'Lo down, and they're going to just cave his head in with a hammer. Mr. Anderson goes, I got a better idea. How about we demote him? Just make him just hate life even worse. Not take him out completely, but take away his title and make him just a prospect. So that's exactly what he is now. He's just a prospect. So we see Hulk Hogan for the first time of the evening backstage with Sting and Kurt Angle. He says, I'm going to take the third spot, brother. And Sting's like, no. The doctor told you specifically today you can't wrestle. You're not cleared. Hogan's like, okay, fine, you're right. But you know what? I got a call today from a wild card. And all I got to do is call this person back. And he's got your back tonight. Sting votes for Magnus to be the third man. It's because Magnus is on fire right now, apparently. Hogan says, okay, if you're comfortable with Magnus, that's fine. I'm good with it. But I got to take care of some other business tonight. So, because we saw Bad Influence earlier, this time we see Austin Aries and Bobby Roode, and they're about ready to talk to James Storm, who is now wearing his referee shirt. They offer him beer wine. Aries tells Roode he's got something to say. Well, tells Storm that Roode has something to say to him. Roode's like, I don't want to say this. Aries like, okay, I was always jealous of you, and you were better than me, and I was a weak link of beer money, and it was all about you. And he says this in a very rushed, awkward way. Storm is in absolute disbelief at this point. He cheers Aries' wine glass. Storm tells Roode that Aries beating him last year wasn't a fluke, at least that's what the boys say, and he walks off. So Storm comes out to his music, and the number one contendership match is next up. So before we get started with this match, I want to bring up Christy Hemme. She looked amazing tonight, as usual, but there was a problem. Okay, you should know by now the theme music, especially if you are the regular ring announcer on the television product of Impact Wrestling. Okay, that being said, someone must have ribbed her and gave her the wrong setup, or she's like Ron Burgundy and she'll read whatever is on the teleprompter, in this case, whatever is on the note card. And she announced the Bad Influence, Christopher Daniels and Kazarian, while Austin Aries' music was playing. Clearly it was Austin Aries' music. Clearly it was Austin Aries and Bobby Roode's Tron. Like, it said It Factor. I mean, obviously we know that's not Bad Influence. So, basically that's not works. Bobby walks to the ring. Aries gets in Hemme's face and basically tells her to announce it correctly. So, this is funny because if you really think about it, Christy is screwed up twice when it comes to Austin Aries. If you remember, Austin's hometown, she didn't mention it. She started, it's like, hailing from... She paused, and she's like, Austin Aries. I was like, really? Hailing from where? I mean, I believe Aries is from Minnesota, if I remember correctly, but, I mean, she didn't say that. She didn't give him a home note. She's like, hailing from Austin Aries. Dumb. I hate to say this, but since WWE's got Lillian Garcia, I guess Christy Hemme is their version. I don't want to do that, but you give me no choice. They both screw up equally. But it was funny. It made me laugh. And it really made me laugh the fact that when Aries was scolding Christy Hemme, he looked legitimately angry. And on top of that, he gets in the corner when she's standing in the buckles. He gets in the corner and stands literally like crotch to her face, the way, like mocking her while he taunts as Daniels and Kaz are announced. It was awesome. that's a very veteran move for covering up the botch from Aries. And it was playing the heel character, even though in this match, especially, they're playing the tweener characters. I mean, they're not baby faces, obviously, without question. It's kind of who is the bigger jerk? I mean, who's the bigger toolbox in the group? I mean, which team are the bigger a-holes? So that's pretty much what you're looking at. So, match was really good. Match was damn good. So we get to the finish of the match here. So Bad Influence with the double team. They go for the cover. Bobby breaks up the count. And basically, Kaz went for Fade to Black, and it was reverse, double R spine buster from Bobby Roode. Roode gets taken out then. Aries and Daniels are the legal men. Aries goes for the IED, dropkick in the corner. Daniels ends up kicking him right in the face. Goes for Angel's Wings. It gets blocked. Goes for the Brainbuster. That gets blocked. Daniels with a roll-up and hooks the tights. Storm refuses the count because he sees the tights are being hooked, so he's actually being a legitimate referee momentarily. Aries grabs the beer. Beer mist in Daniels' eyes. Storm takes the swig, and Aries pushes him. Storm gets mad. Goes for the last call. Aries ducks. He nails Daniels, knocks him out. Aries goes for the cover with one boot on top of the chest, and Storm refuses a count. And Aries jaws with him, so he gets super kicked as well. Another last call. Roode and Kaz stare him down in disbelief, and Storm limps off to his theme music, and that's the end. So no contest. We don't have a number one contender still for the World Tag Team Championships. So I'm guessing maybe next week in Tupelo or the week after, they probably will pick a new number one contender, which I hope will be Bad Influence, because I want them to get the titles back. I definitely do. So the match was awesome. The match was absolutely awesome. I love the fact, I mean, they both got blinded, and early in the match, and they both were blinded temporarily with a double eye rake. So they both did phantom tags, and they both ended up on the ring aprons. All four men were on the ring apron at one point. That was brilliant. Brilliant way right there. So, I mean, either we're going to get a new number one contender, or we're just going to do a three-way. I mean, it could go either way. I mean, it's TNA, it could go either way. I mean, any company really could go either way. So, we see Aces and Eights jump Magnus and beat him senseless on the outside. Magnus somewhat fights back, though, and he grabs a piece of wood to take him out. Here comes Nux from behind. He grabs Magnus's arms from behind. Doc nails something over Magnus's head. I couldn't tell what it was. It looked like a box of some sort. Aces and Eights beat him down. Push something into his side of his head off camera, like slightly off camera, so you can see that it looks like it was going to his head. Obviously it didn't, but I mean, it did. So Magnus is left broken and beaten in the middle of the concrete. So, you want to try another partner stinging angle? Apparently so. Come back commercial break, and yes, because of the vote that TNA Online did and the Impact Wrestling, their website did, Suicide's coming back. I don't know who it's going to be under the mask. I mean, it might be somebody completely new. I mean, it could be Kaz, could be Daniels, could be Kiyoshi. I mean, it could be somebody completely different. Could be somebody that wasn't signed, or someone that was signed and they're just going to put them under a mask. I don't know, but Suicide's coming back, so it's pretty cool. And I don't mind Suicide, because that brings back memories of the old Midway Games TNA Impact game, which I actually kind of liked, because like I said, it's not every day I can actually wrestle with Christopher Daniels in a video game, so that was pretty cool. But the game overall wasn't the greatest, and a lot of people hate it, so but Suicide was created directly for the game, and like I said, it's been used. Kiyoshi, Daniels, Kaz, they all have portrayed Suicide at one point, so I don't know who's actually going to do it this time, but it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Suicide. So next week we see Chris Sabin return to action. Well, wow, sorry, I'm very sleepy. Last week we saw Chris Sabin return to action, and he earned himself a shot at Kenny King's X Division Championship in a three-way dance that also includes the returning Petey Williams. So it's going to be Petey Williams, Chris Sabin, and Kenny King next week for the X Division Championship. That match is going to be freaking amazing, and I cannot wait for it. So we see Kenny King come out, and the X Division champion graces us with his presence. He's all smiles and good times. He grabs a mic and says he is their X Division champion. Ever since he stepped foot in TNA, he's been fantastic, spectacular, and quite, he says, exceptional. Beating 2 people every week ain't no thing because he always defies the odds. He's going to introduce somebody that is the sheer definition of defying the odds, and he brings out Sabin. So Sabin comes out absolutely confused on why he's there. King says it would mean a lot to him if Sabin would tell the people his story. So Sabin does that. He spent the last 2 years in rehab and his basement, basically bouncing back and forth between the two, and how anguished he's been away from wrestling. You do it for 11 years, you disappear, and you take your livelihood away for so long, for 2 years. I mean, obviously you're going to get cabin fever, and you're obviously going to want to do it again. So Sabin tells Kenny King he has no idea the drive and motivation that lives inside him. King applauds that. Sabin says he has nothing left to lose at this point, so every time he steps in the ring, he's going to fight like it's the last night on Earth, and he will become the new X Division champion next week. King says Sabin is an inspiration, and is a champion in his eyes. It'd mean a lot for everyone to see Sabin hold the X Division championship. So Sabin grabs the championship. King says, that's the closest you're ever going to get as long as I'm alive. Even with 2 good ACLs, he wouldn't be as good as Kenny King. He's going to piss all over frail Sabin's parade. That's brilliant, by the way, whoever came up with that. That's awesome. Give me back my championship. So Sabin does that. He throws the title at him, pie faces him, attacks him, and Kenny King powders to the outside. Going through the crowd, Sabin's music kicks back up. So Kenny King proves his worth as a heel on the microphone. Something we saw a lot in Ring of Honor, a lot with the All Night Express, but nothing we really saw in TNA yet. It was the first time that we really got an inkling, if you didn't know already, who Kenny King is. Didn't watch his stuff in Florida, didn't watch him on Tough Enough, didn't watch him in Ring of Honor. I mean, who Kenny King really is. Get an idea of who he is and how great of a heel he truly can be. And this is going to be amazing. I really like this. He mocked Chris Sabin to his face. He's basically saying, I'm daring you to try to get in the ring, because even with 2 good ACLs, you're not as good as me. I mean, I loved it. It was great. I love the frail Sabin idea. That was amazing. And you know what? We're going to see these 2 singles somewhere down the road. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen some way down the road. I mean, I know the X Division title is about 3-way dances now, but, I mean, there's got to be exceptions to the rule. I mean, Sabin and King are going to have an excellent match, and Petey Williams is going to be just the icing on the cake. I mean, this 3-way dance next week in Tupelo is going to be phenomenal. So we see Bad Influence and Austin Aries and Bobby Roode, and they're standing over a down-and-out James Storm. We don't know what happened, and Storm is laid out in the middle of them, and they're checking over him. So basically, they probably all 4 beat him down, to be totally honest, because he screwed up the fact that neither team becomes the number 1 contenders to Chavo and Hernandez, which is obviously the goal, was to get the shot against Chavo and Hernandez, and they couldn't attain that goal because Storm knocked them both out. So we come back from commercial break. Aces and Eights are making their way from the crowd, and they fist pound Taz as always. So we get our main event. Well, we get midway through the match. Actually, we get to the very end. So Angle hits an angle slam. Hot tag to Sting. Devon tagged in. Sting nails Mr. Anderson. Lays Devon out with a running clothesline. And the Stinger Splash. Scorpion Death Drop. 1, 2. They break the count. Sting throws Anderson out of the ring. Bulldog on Devon. Bully Ray breaks the count this time. They go nose to nose, and they start trading blows in the middle of the ring. Sting sweeps the legs, locks on the Scorpion Deathlock. Anderson runs in, breaks the hold. Sting gets nailed with the mic check. Anderson goes to the outside, sends Angle into the steps. Devon slides the table in the ring. They signal for 3D, and before they hit the move, very familiar music hits. And Abyss returns. He lays out Devon and Bully Ray, chokeslams Mr. Anderson through the table. Devon gets up, black hole slam, 1, 2, 3. 18 and a half minutes, and you know, it was all about the fact that we're doing a lot in this match. Number 1, we're proving that TNA can still battle with aces and eights. That's the goal at this point. We're proving that Sting and Bully Ray obviously have to get ready for their match June 2nd at Slammiversary. And we're also proving the fact that there has to be a savior for TNA, and in a very unlikely manner, Abyss is the person that returns. And I don't have a problem with this. I like Joseph Park. I like the character of Joseph Park, and you could definitely tell tonight when he was Abyss that the the hair extensions were kind of looking rather awkward, to be totally honest. But I don't know if they're going to do Abyss and Joseph Park at the same time. I mean, he can pull off both. I know he can. But, I mean, he returned tonight. I mean, he didn't have his teeth in. So he didn't look like Joseph Park tonight. He looked like the Abyss of old. I mean, he had his old gear, he had his old mask. Everything was just the same. And you could tell he was having fun being Abyss again. And with AJ is emo styles for the moment. And we got guys like Samoa Joe and Jeff Hardy, and these are, and apparently Magnus, these are all people that have been taken out by aces and eights, and they're not an option for a savior for the company. So what they do is they bring Abyss back, and Abyss apparently was Hogan's wild card. Because don't forget, if you go back into the history books, don't forget Hogan said on numerous times, Abyss is the future of professional wrestling. And they put the storyline over, the angle with Sting, well, not Sting, but Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair and AJ Styles, and they were putting Abyss over as the second coming. The storyline where they gave Abyss got Hogan's Hall of Fame ring and stuff like that, the power of Hulkamania compels Abyss, I mean, stuff like that, when Abyss was just starting out as a babyface, after being a monster heel for the company for numerous years, especially the inception of the company. But basically, this match was done to elevate everybody involved, and it works really well. I mean, there's also another thing that's going to happen next week. They're going to be talking about, next week, of course, we got a three-way dance, and they're doing the BFG series again, but they're doing it in a very unique manner. They're doing it with a gut check participant. So, Jay Bradley, Sam Shaw, Alex Silva, and Christian York will battle, and the winner of the four-man tournament, which will be Christian York, will go on to face Bully Ray for the World Heavyweight Championship at some point. I don't know when that is, because that really wasn't mentioned exactly when it's going to be, but it's going to be Christian York and Bully Ray. I want to see that match. Because I don't recall the Dudley Boys facing off against Christian York and Joey Matthews. It might have happened before. ECW would have been the only chance that would have happened. And the Dudleys were kind of on their way out. They might have done house show matches, if I had to guess. Maybe stuff on fan cam footage, York and Matthews against the Dudley Boys. But I don't know. So, but I do want to see a singles match with the rejuvenated Christian York against Bully Ray. And I think that match would be phenomenal. So I think that's what we're building to. Abyss returns so he can be the savior of TNA. So TNA has another wild card. And it's somebody that actually works. It works really well because he's one of the first superstars of the company. I mean, he's got the pedigree. He's a former world champion. He's a Triple Crown champion, which there's only 5 people that hold that distinction in TNA. So, I mean, there's always that. So, basically, decent impact. It really was. I love the stuff with Chris Sabin and Kenny King. I love that immensely. I love the fact that we're doing something with the Knockouts division. Gail Kim is now on a mission to destroy the knees of every single woman in the company, apparently. Aces and Eights show some vulnerability a little bit because D'Lo drops the ball, and dropped the ball twice, actually, 2 weeks in a row. So, obviously, his time is probably nigh for being in Aces and Eights, unless he can earn his colors back, which he might be able to, who knows. So, I mean, like I said, TNA was all over the boards today. Excellent tag team match with Rude and Aries against Bad Influence, and those 4 are phenomenal in the ring anytime they actually step in the ring together. The 3-way at Slammiversary, that could happen, or they could actually crown a number 1 contender. I don't know. I guess we'll find out in the near future. So, that's Impact. And I enjoyed the show tonight, as I always do. And good week for wrestling. I liked Raw this week. I liked... I haven't seen SmackDown yet, obviously. I have not read spoilers. Obviously, we're gonna recap it on Saturday. I don't know about NXT. NXT last week was really awesome. NXT last week was great. SmackDown last week was great. I love seeing what happened on both programs. I like the emphasis on women's wrestling on every single program this week. I mean, they have been the greatest matches in some cases. Some of them have been great. Like Paige and Summer Rae on NXT was absolutely awesome. And I like that they actually have a storyline with Caitlyn in WWE and a storyline with Gail Kim, and also the who's the better babyface, who's going to turn heel first between Mickie James and Gail Kim, and long day. Mickey James and Velvet Sky and TNA. So, I mean, it's fine. I mean, show is good, and Aces and Eights. I mean, give me a reason to care again, and give a lot of people a reason to care again. Obviously, I haven't stopped caring, but I mean, I know a lot of people have. So hopefully, if you don't watch TNA, if you're like Will, because Will's the first person that comes to mind when I think about this. If you don't like TNA because of somebody in particular, brother, then, I mean, seriously, just do yourself a favor, watch TNA. I mean, give yourself a month. Watch TNA, like I would do the month before a major pay-per-view. I mean, like, Slammiversary is next, so I obviously don't want to do that. But, like, okay, watch TNA and, like, do Bound for Glory. You do Bound for Glory. Like, Bound for Glory is TNA's WrestleMania. So, that's what you gotta do. Like, October, make the commitment to watch TNA. And it's a long way down the road, but make the commitment to watch TNA and then watch the pay-per-view and be invested in these characters, in these gimmicks, in these storylines, and you'll see that there's different stuff other than the WWE. I mean, NXT is phenomenal. Impact is great. SmackDown is great. Raw is still good. So, I mean, there's a lot of good wrestling on. You just gotta find it. I don't get to watch ROH much anymore, and I haven't watched Chikara and Dragon Gate in a millennia, so I probably need to catch back up on those. But, that's pretty much it. So, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for helping to spread the word about the Popcaster Revolution. If you like these videos, more than welcome to leave a comment, do subscribe, thumbs up these videos, follow me on Twitter if you'd like it, @SirOwenDisney. If you want to contribute to this Popcaster Revolution, you're more than welcome to. SirOwenDisney@gmail.com. Send your videos, your reviews my way. I'll put them on here, and I'll give you credit for it so you guys can become popcasters just like us. So, if you want to find out more about Ben, the video is uploaded. It's on this playlist, so check it out in the pop playlist. Getting to know Ben, you can find out more about our music reviewer, and Will stuff is coming soon. Like I said, school got in the way, so now, I mean, once it's everything, like, quiets down a bit, hopefully we are shooting on Sunday. That's what we're aiming for, and how it's shooting on Sunday, so... Tomorrow, AJ's Weekend Movie Reviews, and Saturday we talk NXT and SmackDown. Sunday, Ben's Record Store Day, and then Monday we're going to talk the second to last episode of Celebrity Apprentice. So, lots still to come this week. So, until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.